At the moment, in Southeast Asia, we have only two resorts, which is both are in Indonesia. One is in Bali and one is in Lombok. Um, well, I understand there is, a discussion on expanding the group within Southeast Asia, but I'm afraid I do not know it in detail about where and when is it, but definitely the discussion is there within the board of, um, you know, in our corporate office in India.
Well, the Oberoi Beach Resort, Bali. Tell us about that. A little background, because it is a landmark.
Indeed, yeah. Mhm. So prior these resorts being bought by Oberoi Hotels, it used to be called Kayu Aya Club. It's sort of like a private beach club, or not beach club. It consists of a few villas at that time. Then in 1978, Mr. Oberoi bought it from an auction, I believe, and then since then the company expanded the size of the resorts. So at that time, no one been been having the hotels or whatsoever in this part of the area. So it was sort of like benefit for us to have the very premium location like now. So since then we have the longest beach frontage compared to any other hotels in this site. So with 450 meters beach frontage. So like you said earlier, we benefit of having sort of like semi-private beach. Though in Bali, we don't mention beach as a private
No.
location. Yeah.
Well, I think that's important for our listeners because beautiful Seminyak beach section is quite built up with hotels, one after the next, and the beaches are pretty crowded, with guests from each property. And here you are, kind of at the beginning of
Yeah.
the Seminyak, and
Yeah.
it feels isolated, which is nice after a full day around that area, walking, shopping, and
Yeah.
you had it up to here with lots of tourists. Tell us about the accommodations, the food, the entertainment, the whole ambience of the property.
Since the beginning of its development, the Oberoi in Bali, both Bali and Lombok, is implementing a very clear concept of being local. We have to highlight everything local, including the architecture of the resorts, including all the entertainment at the resort as well. So Oberoi Bali, we have only 74 keys in total. We have a very simple kind of accommodation, which is very easy to remember. We have the rooms, what we call lanai, and then we have villa, which is all one bedroom villa at the moment. All accommodation, restaurants, and the whole building of the resorts is really highlighting the authentic Balinese architecture, which is built by a quite prominent architect at that time, Mr. Peter Mueller. And the ground of the resorts is 6 hectares altogether. So if we count the composition between building and the land, it is only like 20% of the land we use for the building, and the rest we keep it as free spaces. So that's why nowadays, with all the developments, the massive developments within this area, the resort has become, we gain more of the reputation of becoming the last piece of the green. So sort of like,
It is, yeah. It's not a
yeah,
pitch. I mean, that is a fact.
right.
Now, now, for sure, you receive a lot of, let's say, 55 years and older type clientele guests. What about the Generation Z, the millennials? Have they found you?
It is, it's very unique when we are speaking about the geographical or demographical type of our guests. Every 5 years, we see the difference composition of age-wise, which is at this age, the demographic of our guests is mainly from 40 to 45 is the highest one, and many of them been coming to the resort already for several times. And you know what? A lot of them knowing this hotel is because the recommendation of their parents. So it's a very it's a very unique fact as well. And even
Well,
during the conversation with the guests, in most of the time, I feel like they know much better about this hotel rather than me, who is already 12 years in the property. So they can really tell me the story about the resort, about how the neighboring area used to be. And then they came at first time with their babies who are only like 3 months or 6 months, and now all the boys are already grown up.
they're coming with their kids. Now
Exactly.
you have this. I think once a week you have a buffet dinner outside, gigantic buffet with entertainment, local entertainment.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the buffet is not like a mandatory. I mean, it's very much depending on the occupancy of the resorts. If the occupancy is quite high, then we might do the buffet. But what is certain is the entertainment. I mean, the Balinese cultural performances, which we do on 2 times on weekly basis. So that's also becoming, one of the icon of this hotel. I must say, amongst all hotels within this area, we are still the only hotel who are still having a very a proper amphitheater for that kind of
Yeah,
show.
the little
And
Roman
yeah,
style amphitheater. It's
indeed,
almost one
indeed.
hour, I think, the performance. Beautiful
Yes, it is
performance.
almost 1 hour. Yeah, by the bay. So
Now you have the other property, this
in
Oberoi Beach
Lombok,
Resort, Lombok, which I'm
indeed, yeah.
looking before I call. I was looking on the maps, and
Mm,
it's just the island. If you're looking at Bali, it's the island to the right of it. As you
yeah,
explained to me, it's a 2 hour. If you would take the speedboat, it's two
yes,
hours or 20-minute
yeah.
flight from Bali to Lombok.
Airport, yeah. Hmm.
Uh, and it sounds like a perfect combination of the two. I mean,
Indeed.
I I uh, I looked up the driving because I see that if you were
Hmm.
to drive, you go from Bali Denpasar over to go kind of north east, I guess,
Yes,
and
is.
then you cross. But then you're following the coastal line. It must be beautiful. Tell us about the property, please.
It's it has a similar history than Oberoi in Bali. So the Oberoi Beach Resort in Lombok is the first resort, yet it's the even until now is the only luxury brand on the island. So the hotel, the resort was built in 97 in a very secluded bay where again nobody is there, but they've got very beautiful bay. It's a very quiet bay where the ocean is not like rough like in Bali. So and the ground totally is 11 hectares, so it's almost twice bigger than Oberoi Bali. The number of the key, we have 51 with one unit of 2 bedroom villa
They're all
in the
villas, right?
resorts.
It's
It's not all villas. We have 30 pavilion. The rooms we call it pavilion, And then we have 20 or 19 one-bedroom villa, and then 1 unit of 2-bedroom villas. So
So
yeah.
So the Bay Area has lots of great water activities for the guests.
Yes, that is a very ideal place for a lot of water activities. You can do snorkeling, fun snorkeling right in front of the resorts. We have the private jetty over there. 5-star Buddy on-site diving center is also there. So, like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, when the sea water is going up, then you can do like fun snorkeling over there. And it's fully supervised because we have the license. Beach guard over there. Yeah, and we can also provide the trip to Gili right from our resort, so the guests, they don't have to go to the public harbor if they want to go a day tour to Gili.
Oh, I didn't realize Gili is that close. Okay.
Yeah, the main 3 Gili Islands are really like across from our resort. It's about 15 minutes crossing. Yeah.
I see it now.
And even you can see the land from in front of the hotel. Yeah.
And both properties have plenty of facilities for wellness. The spas are, renowned in Southeast Asia, especially your properties. So guests have lots of options for that.
Yeah.
And
we do have the spa on site.
And of course, great dining. Well, it's not important you have half a dozen or a dozen properties. As long as what you have, you do a good job with it. Well, it's great. Any new plans for these 2 properties next few years?
Well, the plan is the resort in Oberoi, in Lombok, especially after the earthquake, it has just been being refurbished. We just finished refurbishing the resort totally in mid of June. So the resort has just reopened in mid of June. Of course, the damage, it wasn't really like big damage, but still we need to ensure everything. Everything is back to its standard, and the hotel is fully reopened now. The restaurant, we have 2 restaurants. One is Sunbird Cafe, which is a great dining place. It's open air, alfresco style of dining, facing to the bay, open for breakfast. Imagining you have a breakfast in a big lounge like that, facing to the bay, watching the small group of fishes jumps in front of you. And then the second dining facilities is Lumbung restaurant. It's under roof restaurant, but still facing to the bay as well. So it's a great place to watch the sunset as well over there. The same like in Bali, we still have amphitheater as well. And the dances we perform over there, it's not a Balinese dance because it's Lombok. So our concept is really very clear. We are highlighting the local elements, including the entertainment. It has to be highlighting the local culture. So when we speak about Oberoi Lombok, all the entertainments is Sasak dance. And the Sasak is the local tribe of Lombok. Yeah, and we're also highlighting. Yeah.
I'm looking at your website, and there it talks about in Lombok, Jatiluwib village with rice paddies and everything, 700 meters from the property. Do I have that right?
That should be Oberoi Bali. If you're talking about Jatiluwib.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's Bali.
Looks beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
Bali. Yeah. Indeed,
well,
Bali is. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, the location of Oberoi Bali is very close to, either to Ubud, where guests usually love to go, discovering the area during the day, and then they can come back. Or Jatiluwih is just, 1 hour to the north, to the north. So it's very close to everywhere actually, being in Seminyak.
Thank you so much for spending the time with us. And
likewise,
we'll
pleasure
see you
is
down,
mine.
Hope to see you down there soon.